Yes, traction alopecia can regrow, but only if the follicle is still alive. But if you wait too long, it can turn permanent. In this video, you'll learn how to spot early traction, what causes it, and the exact rescue plan. Later in the video, I'll show you the red flags for scarring because that changes everything. Imagine your scalp as a garden, and every follicle is a living plant growing in the garden, rooted in soil. You can tug the plant a little and it leans, right? You tug it repeatedly and it inflames, it weakens, and it starts to loosen from its root. But if you keep the rope tight for months and for years, you don't just stress the plant, you damage the root structure and eventually replace living soil with scar. That progression from stress to inflammation to scarring is the traction alopecia timeline described in clinical reviews. The hair loss is caused by chronic mechanical load on the follicles from hairstyles, from grooming practices, from being harsh with our hair. Now, can hair regrow after traction alopecia? Often yes, in the early stages of stress, because even though the follicle is stressed and inflamed, it is still present. You stop pulling and the plants rebound slowly, but in the concrete phase, the plant cannot take root, unfortunately. But we can catch it early. How do we do that? Early traction alopecia is rarely silent. The scalp usually complains before the hairline disappears. We're talking tenderness, itching, redness, bumps, papules, boils, right? Sometimes folliculitis, tight style headache where your head is aching because the style is too tight, and broken hairs around the edges. It is really unfortunate that the things we have done to our hair in the past continue to linger into the present and even the future. Why does it affect the hairline and the edges first? The edges are the border of the garden, right? Finer caliber hairs in many people, high styling frequency, high friction, right? And repeated directional pull to put my hair into this bun. If I pulled it too tight or it stayed up for too long, that is tension. And tension is not evenly distributed across our whole scalp. It concentrates at anchor points, right? The hairline, the nape, and the part lines. Those are the hairs that suffer first. The hairs around our faces frame our faces, so they do more because they get pulled on more. Now, let's name the culprits, because most people think that traction alopecia is only when you get braids, but that is not the case. It is any routine at all that put so much tension on your follicles, like your follicles are going to war. Any style at all. In our garden analogy, it is not the brand of the rope. No, it is the constant pull. It is where it is tied. So here we go. Number one, slick ponytails and buns and updos with laid edges that happen so often. It's like raking the same patch of soil every day. It looks tidy, but the soil structure underneath is collapsing. Number two, we have braids and cornrows and weaves and extensions, especially when they are small. Plus, when we have too much added hair. Number three, we have wigs and adhesives. It is not the wig. It is the repeated tension from bands, clips, glued edges, and the same anchor zones taking load again and again. Number four is chemical weakening. Relaxers and bleach do not directly cause traction alopecia, but the weakened fiber state plus the tight styling can increase breakage and manipulation. Number five, we have tight twists and locks. The persistent weight of locked styles can eventually result in hair breakage. We're talking months and years. It's not the thing on its own, it's the habit. There is another sad reality. Traction alopecia is common in communities where tight tension-based styles are common practices. So, even though traction alopecia can happen to anyone, it is documented more so in women and children of African descent. I'd like to add another driver of traction alopecia that I have not seen in any study at all. If you have a high pain tolerance, people like my mom and my sister, then you want to be extra careful, as you may not feel tension as quickly or as intensely as someone like me whose pain tolerance on a scale of 1 to 10 is -94. Now here's a plan that everyone needs. The rescue plan. Step 1, cut the rope. If a style hurts you on day 1, it's too tight. If you cannot sleep comfortably on night 1, it's too tight. Now, stopping traction prevents new injury, but it doesn't automatically reverse the inflammation already in the soil from the traction we've already done. So step 2 is to calm the soil, treat inflammation and folliculitis if present. When there is tenderness, redness, bumps, folliculitis type features, doctors may use anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial approaches depending on how intense the presentation is. Step 3. Support regrowth while your follicles are still alive. Topical minoxidil is commonly used by doctors as an adjunct in cases where we're not talking scarring to support the regrowth while traction has been removed. Now, this does not fix the problem that has happened, but it does help the surviving follicles produce more hair and perform better while the guardian recovers. PRP helps as well. It's like spinning the blood, taking the fertilizer portion, and then injecting it back into the scalp. There is some evidence showing that this works, but it is an expensive procedure, right? It can require several sessions and requires the use of injections going into the scalp. So that's just another layer to consider. Part 3C, a retinoid at night can help normalize the scalp surface, increase scalp circulation, enhance cell turnover rate, and reduce the clogged, sluggish follicle environment, for lack of a better word, that makes regrowth harder. But please start slow and start low. 2 nights a week, perhaps, to begin with, because irritation is our worst enemy. Then there's also derma rolling or stamping. These can help your treatment reach the follicle zone faster and better. If there are hairs in the area, stamp rather than roll to prevent losing the hairs we already have. And then if the surface is smoother, rolling after applying your treatment can be reasonable. But please, again, start slow, keep it conservative, and stop if you get any burning, weeping, or worsening redness. And then step 4, know when you might be in the scarring phase. Red flags include persistence even though the traction has stopped, but the patches are still shiny, smooth, and if you've gone to the doctor and they've let you know, look, reduced follicular openings and other symptoms, then we may be in the scarring phase. Scarring changes the realistic regrowth ceiling and the treatment priorities. Prevention is where we win, where we actually make a difference. So here's what we can do. Rotate your anchor points. Move your ponytails around, your buns and your puffs and stuff, your part lines, change that as well. Stop tying the robe too tight in the same corner of the bed. Next, we can reduce load. Make your parts wider or reduce how much added hair you add to distribute the force more evenly across more follicles. Number 3, we can shorten wear time. Chronic tension for weeks is how stress becomes injury. So reduce how long you are in these kinds of styles for, and stop daily edge warfare. And number 4, we want to respond fast to symptoms. If you notice tenderness, redness, itching, thinning, act early and immediately, and then avoid adhesives. Eliminate the use of glue as it can cause allergic reactions or further physical trauma. Opt for loosely sewn in styles or do crochet styles, but loose. And if you have fine strands, you have an even smaller margin of error. Smaller. Fine fibers do not tolerate the same cumulative tension that other hair, like coarse hair, can take, especially at the hairline where the border plants are already so fine and so delicate and so much thinner. Treating the wrong condition wastes our time, wastes our money, and wastes our best recovery window. Think of hair loss as 4 different guardian disasters. Traction alopecia happens when a rope is tied and is pulling tight for too long. Telogen effluvium is a seasonal frost. The plants wilt and the leaves start to drop temporarily due to a cold, which is stress. The roots remain intact, but the plants are wilting. Female pattern hair loss is depleted soil. The plants slowly start to become smaller and smaller over many seasons because they're not getting the right nutrients or the right signals to grow. Scarring alopecia is like paving over concrete. Once the soil is replaced with scar, new plants can no longer push through the surface, making the hair loss permanent. So, if you have pain or you see pustules, rapid progression, or smooth, shiny surfaces on our hair, please don't self-diagnose. Please see a doctor to check whether scarring processes are present, because scarring changes the type of management and the urgency of the treatment. Diagnosis is about confirming whether the follicles are bruised soil or whether the soil has been scarred and paved over with concrete. Reduce tension, reduce weight, less repetition at the same anchor point, and a faster response to pain and thinning. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.